Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to Lauren DeLaguna's morning show, which we don't really have a title for yet. So if you have any title idea names, please send them to Henry the producer. Hey, how are you, CMGA? Joseph Lucifer, I really appreciate you being here. Behind the scenes, Carolinas, thank you guys so much. So this show, we're just gonna go read over the news and we're gonna just start our mornings off with the news. So the first thing that I saw that was trending this morning, I went on to the Twitter. Hey, Ian, Hope Dog. So I went on to Twitter and I checked to see what was trending. And it looks like Elon Musk did an interview with Tucker Carlson about AI and the potential dangers of artificial intelligence. He says he's been thinking about this like um ever since he was in college. He's been out of college obviously a while. And he said that he was starting a truth GPT instead of a chat GPT. So that should be really interesting. So that's been what's trending. So I was thinking of seeing if we could find truth GPT in the news. So get it started. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. Oh, I got a super chat from Henry the producer. Thank you, babe. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, so CNET. I'm just going to go ahead and take all of the titles and put them in StreamYard. If you want to look at any of these, feel free to go check them out yourselves afterwards. Elon Musk says that Truth GPT will be a maximum truth-seeking AI. Elon Musk on Monday offered new details about his much-rumored Chat GPT rival, an AI platform he dubbed Truth GPT that's aimed at challenging offerings from Microsoft and Google. I'm really excited about this. I don't know if any of you guys have ever used Chat GPT, but there are certain things that, hey, load of Smitty, there are certain things that Chat GPT won't say. So for instance, if you type in on Chat GPT, like, how can white people improve their behavior? Then it'll give you like a whole thing about how you could be anti-racist and yada yada. But then you type in like, how can Jewish people improve their behavior? And it's like, this is racist. And it's so it well it's racist either way. So it's just funny, the AI only knows how much that it's taught and based off the people that it's taught. So it'll be nice to have an Elon Musk version so that you're not dealing with consistent political biases in your artificial intelligence. I'm going to start something. So this is Elon Musk. I'm going to start something which I call Truth GPT, or a maximum truth-seeking AI that tries to understand the nature of the universe. Musk said Monday during the Tucker interview. He said Truth GPT might be the best path to safety in the sense that an AI that cares about understanding the universe, it is unlikely to annihilate humans because we are an interesting part of that universe. Interesting. Musk's entry into the burgeoning AI market comes after the launch of OpenAI ChatGPT in November. The chatbot built on a powerful AI engine can write software. Yeah, everybody knows what ChatGPT is at this point. Is essentially you can do your kid's homework for you if your kid just types it into a question format. So I thought that was really fascinating. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see if there's any other. Yeah, they're all just saying he's building it, wants to build. I'm not seeing any a fake new frenzy. Huh. Let's check this out. So this is from The Guardian. Why ChatGPT could be disastrous for truth in journalism. Fake news frenzy. I feel like this is too opinion based. Yeah, it's the opinion section, so we'll skip on that. Okay. Alrighty. So I think the next thing that we're going to do is see what CNN is checking out this morning. What do they think is important? So we're going to go over to the CNN page. So yeah, Dominion's doing its defamation trial against Fox. Oh, this is sad. We talked about this yesterday about this teenager who got shot. It wasn't really anyone's fault. He went to the wrong address, and so the homeowner thought he was trying to break in, so he shot this teenager. Still very sad. It's nobody's fault, really. And he's charged. I thought we determined that he wasn't charged. No words were exchanged before a white homeowner. I don't know how that's really relevant. I don't know how the race here is really relevant, because yesterday, as we discussed, even the chief of police said that there was no racial motivation behind this. So I think it's really misleading to be making the title. It's all like, oh, okay, internet. Thank you. Thanks, internet. But yeah, I think it's really misleading to say white homeowner shot black teen who rang his door. Okay. I mean, it's true technically, but that wasn't why. It wasn't racially motivated. Okay. Andrew Lester was who faces 2 felony charges for assault on the in the first degree and armed criminal action, told police that he fired immediately after answering the doorbell when he saw 16-year-old Ralph pulling on exterior door handle. According to the probable cause document obtained by CNN, Lester said he was scared to death due to the boy's size. He's not deceased. He's doing well. He's not out of the woods yet, according to super racist attorney Ben Crump, who I hate. I just don't understand. It's just so obnoxious because Ben Crump makes everything about race. And what about this has anything to do with race? A scared 84-year-old man sees a large young man coming at him in the middle of the night, and the young man happened to be look at this old man. Look at this old man. Ugh, it's just so sad. It really is. Okay. And then so CNN to try to like make him out to be some sort of racist, nasty as well. Okay. So there's a reporter. So there's a jailed U.S. reporter that appeared in court. Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gersovich is appearing. Let's just take this a little bit further. Okay. The Wall Street Journal reporter Evan, let me double check that I'm sharing this correctly. Good morning, everyone coming in. I know that boy appears to be 90 pounds. Well, he could be really tall. I agree. He does look skinny. Like, he doesn't look like a menacing, scary guy, but at the same time, he could be really tall. And that old man is so old and probably so tiny. Okay. Supo, nice to see you. Paygal, nice to see you. Okay. Wall Street journalist reporter Evan Gershovich has appeared in a courtroom in Moscow at an appeal hearing against the arrest and detention in a former KGB prison on charges of espionage. Damn. He stood in a glass and metal enclosure inside the courtroom on Tuesday wearing law. Who cares? Russia Federal Security Service detained Gershok in Ural City last month on espionage charges that carry a possible 20-year prison sentence. Gershakovich, the first U.S. journalist detained in Russia on espionage charges since the end of the Cold War. That's pretty interesting. The Wall Street Journal has denied he was involved in espionage, as has Washington. The Moscow court is hearing a complaint filed by Gershakovich against the decision to keep him in custody in Lefortovo prison in Moscow while the case is being investigated. The hearing is essentially procedural, covering how he should be detained as he awaits trial, not the substance of the charges. Okay, so he has a lot of times you'll have preliminary hearings. Now, obviously, I'm not even a United States attorney yet. I'm still waiting on licensing, even though I passed the bar. And this is clearly not even United States. This is Russia. But I would imagine they have something similar. So they're having a preliminary trial or preliminary hearing, I should say. And it has nothing to do with whether or not he's guilty or innocent. Maybe that's one of the factors is the likelihood of success on the charges. But it has to do with whether or not they have a right to detain him in the manner that they've been detaining him in thus far. He was moved to the Lefortovo prison, which in Soviet times was run by the KGB, but is now operated by the Federal Penitentiary Service. Traditionally, it has been used to hold those suspected of the FSB of spying and other grave crimes. The Kremlin has said Gershkovich was carrying out espionage under the cover of journalism. The foreign minister, all of these names are hard to pronounce, has told the United States that Gershovik was caught red-handed while trying to obtain secrets. What does that look like, being caught red-handed trying to obtain secrets? Like, you caught me, my hand was in the secret jar. Like, is there a secret? I don't... Maybe he just walked into the wrong room looking for the bathroom, accidentally found the secret clubhouse or something. I don't know what you guys are up to. Hey, Authority Check. Good morning. Good morning, y'all. So that's pretty crazy. Let's see what he was caught doing. I want to look into that. What did a man with impossible name do to the Yeah, I know they're accused of spying, but like specifically, what did they do? He was in good health, remained strong. Espionage. Not seeing anything new. Yeah, so no like specific facts there. Interesting. Okay. So let's go back to CNN. Oh, that's sad. Jamie Foxx is hospitalized. Let's see what he's hospitalized with. Then we'll go over to Fox. Jamie Foxx remains hospitalized in Georgia nearly a week after his daughter revealed the actor experienced a medical complication. A source with knowledge of the matter told CNN on Monday. His daughter, Courtney Fox, shared on Instagram last week that her father had experienced a health-related incident last Tuesday. Though she did not specify what occurred, she added her post that due to quick action and great care, the father is on a way to quick recovery. Okay, all right. Let's go over to Fox. Okay, troubling ties. Okay, let's read it. Biden admin hit with lawsuit for hiding communications involved.
Yeah, I am freshly amputated and everything shut down.
Ooh, nasty. Ooh, I'm sorry for you, girl. Okay. Biden admin hit with lawsuits for hiding communications involving cabinet secretary's daughter. Exclusive, a watch group. I hate when they say that. Watchdog group. I'm sure it's a watchdog group. Filed 2 federal lawsuits against the Biden administration Monday, alleging that it has violated federal law by not sharing communications involving Interior Secretary Deb Haaland's daughter. Protect the public trust. So we did this yesterday. We were reading CNN, and they were talking about how some other watchdog group was coming after all of these Republicans, and then we went to the page and noticed it was all just Trump derangement syndrome. So let's do the same thing here. Let's check out this page. See if it's just a bunch of conservative shit. Like, because it's the same thing on both sides. I don't want it on either side. I want to be, because I don't know. Y'all know what I'm saying. So let's check out this page. So are they only going after Democrats? Let's see. This looks actually pretty decent. Going after the EPA. Okay, I'm not seeing like just a bunch of Nancy Pelosi hit pieces or AOC hit pieces, which is what I was expecting. It looks like this is a legitimate watch crop. Okay. Good for you guys. Congrats. Congrats on being a legitimate thing. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the story. Sorry, thank you for coming on that detour with me. Okay, so this Protect the Public's Trust Group, which is actually pretty decent because we just checked it out. A nonprofit watchdog organization asked a federal court in the lawsuits, one filed against the Department of Interior, the other filed against the Bureau of Land Management, to compel the 2 agencies to comply with its information request on January 2nd. PPT filed information request with the DOI and BLM, that's Bureau of Land Management, not BLM, asking for communications with Haaland's daughter, Soma, and top agency officials. The information request filed under FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, which requires the federal government to publicly share documents of communication and information with the public, came after a Fox News digital report revealed Soma Haaland had lobbied federal lawmakers on hot button oil and gas leasing issues. Yikes. Over which her mother has oversight. Nice. Yikes. Oof. Not good. Okay, her daughter's activism and lobbying efforts certainly have a potential to create the perception in the minds of the public that Secretary Haaland could be conflicted on issues under her authority. You don't say. You don't say. PPT director Michael Chamberlain told Fox News Digital. Further complicating matters is the participation of an organization that claims Soma Haaland among its leadership in the protest that turned into a riot at the interior headquarters. Holy cow! Are you serious right now? I wish my parents were politicians so I could just get away with crap. They tried. They lost their elections. Oh man. Well, that's not good. More corruption in government. Hey, Chrissy. Nice to see you here. Good morning. You are hilarious. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Valley girl. I'm a Valley girl. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Bliss Kingsley, I really appreciate that. Let's go on to the next story here. I thought that was super interesting, but okay, we get it. More people in the Biden administration are corrupt. What's new? Yeah, we're getting back to this Wall Street journalist reporter. They're just based off the title. It doesn't seem like it's talking about any more details that we don't already know. Y'all know who Riley Gaines is. Riley Gaines rips Biden administration and Leah Thompson's expressed support for Title IX challenges. Like, yes, we know you're a conservative and you don't like the trans agenda. Got it. Oh yeah, I saw this. So Arnold Schwarzenegger was filling.
It's important for all photographers to turn the lens on themselves at one point or another. That's made me a lot more confident. My name's Marina Williams. I'm a self-portrait photographer.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, anyway, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was filling this pothole and he was like, look at me, I'm filling a pothole and I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. And then he looked on the news that night expecting everyone to be like, yay, ex-Governor Schwarzenegger's filling in the potholes. And instead people were like, actually, it wasn't a pothole. It was a trench dug by people for like the city for plumbing or electric services or something like that. And so that was what I last saw of it. So let's see if he's correcting the record. Arnold Schwarzenegger calls out CBS headline on pothole story. Why institutional trust is in decline. Actor and former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger claimed that a CBS headline on his recent filling of a pothole in his neighborhood was bogus. The Terminator star garnered attention on Tuesday. More Hollywood attention. After posting a video of himself filling a giant pothole in Brentwood, California community after allegedly dealing with it for weeks. Today, after the whole neighborhood has been upset about this giant pothole that's been screwing up cars and bicycles for weeks, I went out with the team and fixed it. I always say, let's not complain. Let's do something about it. Here you go, Schwarzenegger wrote on Twitter. And here's him filling this large trench, which CBS later says is a service trench. However, CBS News insists in a tweet that the pothole was actually a trench used for utility work. The giant pothole that Arnold Schwarzenegger said he recently filled on a street in his Los Angeles neighborhood of Brentwood was actually a trench that had been dug for utility work, according to the city, CBS News tweeted. So here's that CBS tweet. Yeah, look at it a little bit longer. Look at that tweet out there defaming him. Is that defamation? Probably not. CBS headline for the story also reads, Schwarzenegger filled a utility trench, not a pothole. City of Los Angeles says after video goes viral. And I guess that's kind of crappy. Like, he's clearly trying to do something nice. It's a little bit like, oh, look, don't film me while I'm giving this homeless person money, type thing. But still, he did something nice. It helped the neighborhood. It actually was beneficial, unlike just like giving out money, which is not beneficial. So it's kind of crappy for CBS to be like, it's not even a pothole. Okay. Schwarzenegger called out this framing on Twitter, claiming that it could be used as an example in the decline in media trust. This headline tweet is bogus. The story is correct. The utility work was finished in January. I filled the hole 3 months later, and the city left my fix in place. The story should be taught in class for people who are confused about why institutional trust is in decline. That's a good point. Like, even if it wasn't technically a pothole, let's say it was this huge gaping service trench. The city didn't clear it. It's acting like a pothole. And in fact, it's probably worse than a pothole. It's probably like the most epic pothole ever because it's purposely made. So I see his point. Yeah. CBS News tweets also feature a community note reading the pothole was filled 3 months after utility work ended, according to Schwarzenegger. A city spokesperson said in a statement that the hole the actor filled up is not a pothole, but rather a service trench that relates to the active permitted work being performed at the location by SoCal Gas, who expects the work to be completed at the end of May. So you're just gonna leave a hole there, March, April, at the end of May. So you just want to leave a hole there for like 5 months, city of Los Angeles. You just think it's okay to have like a large gaping hole in the middle of the road for 5 months. Oh, we were gonna finish the work in May. Why is he filling this hole up? We were going to. Okay. It's just so absurd. Okay, let's see. A spokesperson also explained to Fox News Digital that the work in the area began January 26th with expectations to be completed at the end of the week. However, Marissa Giroloma, a communication manager at SoCal Gas, revealed on Thursday that they kept Schwarzenegger's efforts intact while strengthening the patch. We did leave the patch that Governor Schwarzenegger applied. However, yesterday, our crews went back to the site and we used special equipment to go over the patch to make it all stronger. Okay, so they reinforced it. I thought they were going to say that they had to tear it all up to continue with the work that they were doing or something like that. Alrighty, I'm over this story. Let's see what the next thing is. Yeah. Hey, the return of Deacon Charles Anthony and President Trump. It's good to see you here. And Lucifer Morningstar. No, all the Lucifer accounts are the same person, so it's pretty nice of you to come in here with all of your different socks just to give me support this morning. Oh, I saw this too. I saw this. Let's see what you guys think. I don't know how true it is. It's like one of those things. I'll show you. Here's the picture. Okay, so here's these two kids. The flight attendant at United just made my 22-week pregnant wife, traveling with a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, get on her hands and knees and pick up the popcorn mess left by my youngest daughter. Are you kidding me? I don't know. Hold on. You can't even see. Hold on. I'll show you. I'll show you what I'm looking at. Burp, burp. Alrighty. Do not want that sound. Oh gosh, that was not what I thought it was. Try to copy this exactly. Oh wow. Let's just share my screen another way. So I'll show you. Present. Share screen. There we go. So here's my Twitter. You should follow me on Twitter. I have a Twitter myself, and you could follow me there. So here's the popcorn on the ground. See, here's the popcorn. Here's the cute little baby too. Here's the 5-year-old. Am I showing you? Yeah, I'm showing you the right thing. Okay. Going to stop presenting and get back to the story. Well, good morning, Marky Mark Vanilla Dice. Okay, getting back to it. Okay. Toronto Blue Jays veteran reliever Anthony Bass is not happy about how the United Airlines staff treated his pregnant wife and 2 kids on a recent flight, and he used social media to voice his frustrations. Flight attendant. Okay, yeah, so that was that tweet that we just read. Bass didn't get the reception on Twitter he might have thought would come when he sent out the tweet. On Twitter, one Twitter user said, genuinely curious who should clean up the mess your 2-year-old made. As a parent of 3, I am the one responsible for them. You're So you're telling me, person who put this comment, okay. So are you telling me that if you take your kids to the movie theater and they throw stuff on the ground, you're like, I'm the only one who's responsible for cleaning this mess. It's my kids, my mess. I'm going to clean it. And it's like, yeah, okay, maybe movie theater, you're like, well, obviously not a movie theater because everybody, but same thing for an airplane. Like, I've definitely spilled on airplanes before and was not forced to get on my hands and knees and clean up after myself. I'm sure I tried the best I could, but I mean, there's this cleaning crew that comes on every plane afterwards. Yeah, here we go. The cleaning crew they hire. Yeah, right. That's, yes. So who's responsible for cleaning? The cleaning crew. Probably. I'd have to agree with him here. Now, does that mean that your kids should be like smearing paint on the walls? Like, no, but, or making an actual disaster. But spilling popcorn, very normal. I spill popcorn and I'm an adult. How am I supposed to expect a 2-year-old not to spill popcorn? Jessie James Decker got involved on her Instagram story as her sister told the camera that United gave her daughter's popcorn. So yeah, United gave them the popcorn and then got very upset but then again, we're taking this lady's word. So like, we don't know what the flight attendant said. Maybe the flight attendant said, oh, you spilled a little. And the woman took that as, oh, she's forcing me to clean it. We have no idea. We weren't there. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for the support. United Airlines is taking care of the matters with the flight attendant internally. Yeah, and then it's just a bunch of stuff about his baseball career. Okay. I haven't seen this. Let's check this out. Warriors Diamond Green appears to slip on small. The sounds automatically play. Warrior Draymond Green appears to step on chest of Kings dominant Sabonis. Rouse of crowd before ejection. Golden State Warriors star Draymond Green was ejected from Monday night game 2 against the Sacramento Kings after he appeared to stomp on the chest. Wonder if where's the video of it? Here it is. I'm sure this is it.
Now watch the end of this play. As he goes down, watch him grab Draymond right there. Now that right there is where the foul came in. So he grabs Draymond's leg right there. Now Draymond steps on him.
Was that actual hell?
As he goes down, watch him grab Draymond right there. There. Now that right there is where the foul came in. So he grabs Draymond's leg right there. Now Draymond steps on him.
Wow. Wow. That's pretty not good. Kind of like that music is not good. Green went back to the bench as officials reviewed the play. He was then seen drawing with Kings fans, with at least one man giving Green the double birds. Officials gave Green a flagrant 2 foul, which means he will be ejected from the game. Savanes was assessed a flagrant 1 foul. Savanes said he had no animosity towards Green after the game. Green had 8 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds in 31 minutes. It's unclear whether further discipline would have assessed to either player as the series went on. Yikes. I don't know why you would act like that. How unsportsmanlike. How unsportsmanlike. Yikes. Okay. Well, I'm a little bit over Fox. Let's see what. Oh, I was so tempted to click on this. It's so clickbaity. Let's go ahead. Oh, no, wait. This one's good. One more. New York woman shot, killed by homeowner.
At Free Tax USA, you get your maximum tax refund guarantee. A free federal.
Thank you. Okay. New York woman shot, killed by homeowner after car she was in pulled into wrong driveway. A New York woman on her way to a friend's house was shot and killed by a homeowner when the driver of the vehicle she was riding in pulled up to the wrong address, according to authorities. Kaylin Gillis, 20, of Schweroville, was in a car of 3 people looking for a friend's house in the town of Hebron on Saturday at around 10 p.m. when they mistakenly drove into the driveway of a home of Kevin Mulholland, 65, Washington County Sheriff Jeffrey Murphy said at the news conference on Monday. As the driver attempted to turn the car around, authorities said Monahan came out and fired at least 2 shots, one of which struck Gillis. The driver then drove to the neighboring town of Salem, where the group called 911. Emergency crews rushed to the area and performed CPR on Gillis. She was pronounced dead at the scene. No, stop. Look at how pretty she was. She was only 20 years old. No, that's so sad. When deputies arrived at the Monahan property to investigate, he would not cooperate and refused to exit his house. Officials talked to him through a 911 dispatcher and in person for about an hour before he was taken into custody. Monahan was arrested on second-degree murder charges and is booked into the Warren County Jail. This is a very sad case of some young adults who were looking for a friend's house and ended up at the man's house, who decided to come out with a firearm and discharge it. How disgusting. Wow. I think this is different than the first case that we read about that kid where they made it with Ben Crump as the attorney, the black kid. I think it's different because the girl stayed in her car and was trying to drive away. Whereas, and I'm not blaming the kid who has Ben Crump as an attorney, because it was clear it was a mistake. He thought he was at the right house. But I could definitely have more empathy for the old man that shot him versus this old man. Like, this old man, first of all, it doesn't even seem on the decline as much as the other old man. He's only 65 years old. And he just follows you out with a gun. That just seems a little much. Murphy noted that the car was only in the driveway for a short time, although it is unclear exactly how long. He said the area is very rural with many dirt roads and that it is easy to get lost. Well, if it's easy to get lost, then you expect people to use your driveway to turn around. That's not insane. Okay, there's clearly no threat from anyone in the vehicle, Murphy said. There's no reason for Mr. Monahan to feel threatened. Exactly. Murphy said he personally knew the victim's family. I know for a fact that she comes from a good family, a very good family, and I know them personally, and she was a young girl that was taken way too young. Oh, there's a GoFundMe that was posted to support funeral costs. The fundraiser has raised over $38,000 as of Tuesday. Just going to go ahead and take this link and drop it in here. Bloop. Okay. Let's head over to NPR. Hey, my pal Sal Vintage. Thanks for checking it out, for coming over, saying hi. Okay. Oh, this is terrible. So okay, so yesterday we read about the black kid who was shot. And even then, the police chief said there was absolutely no racial motivation. And then yesterday when we read it, it appears as though the homeowner, the white guy, hadn't been charged yet. And it makes sense because in that state, it was a stand your ground state. So he had no requirement to try to leave. He was allowed to protect his home. But apparently there has been an outrage, and it has forced the hand of the prosecutor, but nothing really forces their hand. It's their decision, and they shouldn't prosecute unless a crime has been committed. All right. Protesters in Kansas City, the outrage nationwide mounted this weekend over a shooting of a black teenager whose family says he accidentally came to the wrong address to pick up his younger siblings. On Monday evening, Clay County prosecutor Zachary Thompson identified the shooter, Andrew D. Lester, an 84-year-old white man. Thompson's office filed felony criminal charges of first degree. Good luck with that. Assault and first degree assault. I thought you were going to say murder, but first of all, he's not even dead. Ignore me for a second. But first degree assault and armed criminal action against Lester. Additionally, a warrant has been issued for the man's arrest. Thompson shared during a press conference. Ralph Yarl, a 16-year-old high school junior, he was young looking, survived the shooting on April 13th. He was released from the hospital on Sunday and is now recovering at home. Well, that's great. That means he's not even horrifically injured if he's already at home. When asked whether he believes the shooting was racially motivated, Thompson said nothing of that nature is clear in the probable cause documents. Exactly. He said Yarl and Lester didn't appear to have any interaction. Exactly. No interaction before the shooting. So probably didn't even know the kid was black. He didn't know he was large. Maybe he saw like the shadowy figure. I don't know what he saw. Okay. We understand how frustrating this has been. But I can assure the criminal justice system is working and will continue to work. Okay. So this all comes after public outrage over the officials' perceived delay in identifying and pressing charges against the person responsible for the team's shooting. Though Lester was taken into custody shortly after the incident, he was released the next day. In the shooting's aftermath, officials remained largely tight-lipped on the case. In a statement Monday, civil rights attorney Ben Crump and Lee Merritt said President Biden spoke with the teen and his family. Did Biden speak to the teen of the 20-year-old girl who was shot? Did Biden speak to the family? Has he gone to Ohio yet? Has he gone to East Palestine, Ohio yet? And spoken to those families? Oh my God. Okay. It was moments after this call that their clients were informed that prosecutors were pursuing charges against Lester Shocks. It's all political. It's all political. That's so sad. This 84-year-old man is getting wrapped. I mean, maybe he was too old to be dealing with a gun. Clearly, he had no reason to shoot this person. But God, I don't know. Maybe if he was young and sane, he would be just as scared. I have no idea what it was like having this teenager, who he didn't expect, who might be tall, come to his door. That could be scary. Okay. Gun violence against unarmed Black individuals must stop. Jesus Christ. This has nothing to do with this. Our children should feel safe, not as though they are being hunted. While this is certainly a step in the right direction, we will continue to fight for Ralph while he works towards a full recovery. I mean, just sue the old guy. Just sue him financially. I don't know why you're insisting that he goes to prison. That's unnecessary. That irks me. Okay. I'm going to be talking about an echo chamber here. Let's talk about pot calling the kettle black. NPR. GOP governor says he's urged Fox News to break out of its echo chamber. Have they told the state-sponsored state media, NPR, to do the same? Okay. Alrighty. At the Republican National Committee's spring retreat in Tennessee over the weekend, a swing state GOP governor told major donors the party's future political success depended in part on Fox News. In a speech about attacking independents and young people to the Republican Party, New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu said that he urged Fox News to break out of its echo chamber for Republicans to prosper. See, I disagree. Here's why I disagree. Republicans, tend to read not only Fox, but they also tend to read CNN, NPR, all the rest. We tend to know all the arguments, whereas Democrats, they already have CNN and MSNBC, NPR. They have all the news stations except for Fox, and they're playing constantly. The de facto is always liberal. So if you want the conservative party to succeed, you need to have a space for them. Is Fox News an echo chamber? Yeah, a bit, but conservatives tend to be forced outside of that echo chamber. We tend to like to go into the echo chamber for a moment, and just so that we can be like, I love to hear the echoing of my own thoughts because it makes me feel sane to know that other people are saying the exact same thing. But as soon as we leave Fox News, we're forced into your liberal crazy world. Okay, we're forced to live here all the time. Fox News is our vacation. And whereas like liberals are actually in an echo chamber, and as long as they don't step into Fox News, their echo chamber doesn't get broken. Okay. In a speech about it, okay, yeah, I already said that. Sununu's remarks echo a consistent theme found unvarnished in the private communications of Fox stars and executives by Dominion Voting Systems in its 1.6 billion. Ooh, it is billion. Yesterday I thought that was a mistake, a typo. Billion defamation lawsuit against the network. That Fox is an integral player in Republican politics and conservative movement. Of course, it's an integral player in Republican politics and the conservative movement. That doesn't mean that they should stop. Explain to me how we should stop. If they're integral, then why would they stop doing what they've been doing? Oh, not intelligent. We have to start thinking about the long game, Sununu told Republican donors at the Four Seasons Hotel in Nashville. Oh my God. we get ourselves tied up in issues. I'm not saying they're not important, but they ain't making the team bigger. Really, tell that to Black and Hispanic voters in Florida who are overwhelmingly voting conservative right now. Oh my gosh, Sununu. Okay. Let's check this out. So, if there's anything that you guys want me to cover, just let me know. FBI arrests 2 on charges tied to Chinese outpost in New York City. 2 men were arrested Monday on charges that they helped establish a secret police station in New York City on behalf of the Chinese government. What? And about 3 dozen officers with China's National Police Force were charged with using social media to harass dissidents inside the United States. That's scary. Yeah. Could you imagine like defecting from China and then coming to America? And Chinese officials are still trying to get at you? That'd be terrible. The cases are part of a series of Justice Department prosecutions in recent years aimed at disrupting Chinese government efforts to locate an American pro-democracy activists and others who are openly critical of Beijing's policies and to suppress their speech. Yikes. One of the 3 cases announced Monday concerns a local branch of the Chinese Ministry of Public Security that has operated inside an office building in Manhattan's Chinatown neighborhood before closing last fall amid an FBI investigation. The 2 men who were arrested were acting under the direction and control of a Chinese government official and deleted communications with that official from their phones after learning the FBI's probe in an apparent effort to obstruct the inquiry, according to the Justice Department. Wow. Though China is believed to be operating secretive police outposts in the country around the globe, Justice Department officials said these arrests were the first of their kind anywhere in the world. This is a blatant violation of our national sovereignty. Michael Driscoll, the head of New York's FBI division, or FBI field office, said at a news conference announcing the case. The men identified as Harry Liu Jinwang, 61, of the Bronx, and Chen Jinping, 59, of Manhattan, both U.S. citizens, were arrested at their homes on Monday morning. A lawyer for Liu declined to comment. An email message seeking comment was left with a lawyer for Chen. Yikes. Let's see what this attorneys have to say. In America, the law protects all of us equally from persecution, violence, and threats of violence. Facts. As authoritarian governments, whether the PRC, Russia, Iran, or others, become more brazen in their efforts to trample the rights and liberties that are the bedrock of our democracy, the Department of Justice will redouble its efforts to defend our democracy, our democratic institutions, and our sovereignty. Alrighty. Let's see what the BBC is up to. I also wanted to go into later, and y'all can let me know what you think. I wanted to see if I could find the actual documents that were leaked. So remember yesterday we talked about that airman and how he released documents and how, for the most part, liberals were calling him treasonous and conservatives were calling him a hero. Liberals were calling him treasonous because they were saying, oh, it was giving away vital secret American information that could put our soldiers in danger. And conservatives are calling him a hero because Biden administration and General Milley and Lloyd Austin have been saying that Russia's not in a hot war with the United States, and that if United States, and also that Ukraine was winning the war against Russia. And allegedly these leaks show that Americans are actually fighting Russia and that Ukraine is losing. But I did have a dispute with Henry about if that's what the leak actually was. So we will search for it. We will search for the actual documents. I don't know if we can, though, because if they're considered classified information, I don't know if just because they were leaked once, it's like, oh, once leaked, they're leaked, you know. So I don't know if we'll be able to find them, but hopefully we can. Oh, this is so sad. Let's check this out. The birthday girl at an Alabama party where 4 people were shot dead, oh my God, was saved by her brother. She has told the BBC he later died in her arms. Oh my God. Alexis Dodwell was celebrating her 16th birthday at a dance studio in rural Dadeville when her 18-year-old brother, Phil Dowdell, came to get her after hearing that someone at the party had a gun. Her mother, LaTonya Allen, had also heard the rumors. She said that she turned on the lights, went to the DJ booth, and asked whoever had a firearm to leave the party. But when no one spoke up, she turned the lights back off. The gunfire erupted shortly after. Oh my God. All of a sudden, you hear gunshots and you just see everybody running towards the door and people falling and screaming, Alexis told BBC. Her brother, Phil, pushed her to the ground, she said, before the two became separated in the chaos. She was able to escape the venue and took cover outside before someone came to help her. Alexis said she hid behind another building in case the attacker was still on the loose. When she eventually went back inside, she discovered that her brother had been shot. He had lost a lot of blood. She stayed with him as he drifted in and out of consciousness. He was unable to talk, though he opened his eyes and raised his eyebrows. She cradled, oh God. And she cradled him in her arms. Oh God. The last thing I told him was to stay strong. I know. So sad. I don't even want to read the rest of that. It's too sad. Yeah, so this is people trying to know, people in small, they want patient. They want to know why it happened. So someone must know means that article is not going to have the answer. Man. Okay. Putin visits occupied Kherson region in Ukraine. That's interesting. Russian President Vladimir Putin has visited occupied parts of Ukrainian region of Kherson. He attended a military meeting to hear reports from commanders, according to the Kremlin. Mr. Putin is also thought to have visited the Luhansk region, Russia annexed, and Luhansk. I can't pronounce any of these. Luhansk last year. Such trips by the Russian leader are rare, although he made a surprise visit to the city of Mariupol in March. An advisor to the Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky tweeted that Mr. Putin was touring the occupied region, or occupied and ruined territories of Ukraine to enjoy the crimes of his minions for the last time. Okay. Putin's degradation is impressive, he said. Mr. Putin's spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, said that the visit had taken place on 17 April. However, footage initially posted on Kremlin website contradicts this statement. In the clip, Mr. Putin can clearly be heard saying that Easter holiday is coming up. Orthodox Easter is celebrated in Russia on 16 April, the day before the date claimed by Mr. Peskov. The video on Kremlin website has since been edited with Mr. Putin's words coming up removed. So in Russia, right, it's an authoritarian dictatorship. So so they literally live in 1984. So instead of just correcting the person who was wrong, the spokesperson who was wrong about the date, they're just going to edit the footage, just change the truth to make it fit. Oh my God. That is literally what NPR is, by the way. That's the equivalent. Russia's media that they have is equivalent to NPR, just state-sponsored, whatever the state wants them to say. Okay, in a video released by the Kremlin, Mr. Putin is seen stepping out of a helicopter in a field before it cuts to him getting out of a car and being greeted by a man in a military. See, that's badass. Like, you might hate Putin. You might think he's a despicable person. He makes badass videos, though. Thought to be military commander Colonel General Olg Makovich. He is then filmed speaking in a control room sat between Colonel Jen Makovich and the head of the Russian Airborne Forces. Okay. Later in the video, Mr. Putin presents what is reported to be a copy of an icon he said belonged to one of the most dedicated defense ministers of the Russian army in the 19th century. We see a roadside reading, "See you later," in the Kherson region next to a hotel that has been verified by the BBC as being the Kherson region. There are then aerial shots taken over a coastal village in the same area. However, no shots in which Russian president is filmed have been independently verified. Yeah, so he's making these like badass videos in the areas of the lands that he's just conquered, which I'll probably do the same if I was conquering lands. So let's try to go find, I'm gonna go find these leaked. Search with me. Okay, so this is the guy. This one. I'm just seeing the leak investigation. I'm seeing about the arrest. But I'm really searching for okay, so he was arrested. More than 100 U.S. documents were leaked. Files contain highly sensitive information tied to the Ukrainian war, including data on military activities such as U.S. drone spy planes in the area and Ukrainian forces' use of ammunition. Yeah, but it was showing that the U.S. was actively engaging in war, which we were lying about. And it also showed that Ukraine was losing, which we were also lying about. Now, I say this according to Tucker Carlson, who I'm assuming saw these documents, but I haven't seen them. So, slightly speaking out of my arse here a little bit. I don't quite know. I still haven't seen the documents, but I have been told by the Tuck that that's what those documents are. Read the criminal complaint. Okay. Are they just like a... Let's just do this. Okay, here's the criminal complaint. Hey, let me double check that I'm sharing this correctly. Okay, cool. Good morning, Brooklyn Audit Gonzo. Good morning, Turtle. Oh, Turtle Boy Live is here. Woo! That's what we were going to actually end today on. We're doing a morning news show now. And I woke up this morning reading a crazy story that came out of Massachusetts from Turtle Boy News. So that will be the last thing that we check out today. But that's a crazy story. So I'm excited to go over that. Okay, introduction. So special agent. So this is him saying who he is and why his affidavit is worth anything. Transmitted documents. These are the charges that he's charged with right here. Statutory authority definitions. We don't really need that. Probable cause. As described more fully below, there's probable cause to believe that Teixeira improperly and unlawfully retained and transmitted national defense information classified at the top secret clearance, I don't know, level to persons authorized to receive such information. Okay, the FBI has been investigating. On or about April 10th, 2023, the FBI interviewed the user social media platform user number 1. According to user number 1, an individual using a particular name, the subject name, began posting what appeared to be classified information on a social media platform on or about December 2020 on a secret server within a social media platform. According to user 1, the individual using the subject name was the administrator of the server. User 1 indicated that the purpose of the server was to discuss geopolitical affairs and current and historical wars. I think it's pretty cool, though, that, such young people are invested in trying to find the truth. And they're making Discord. I think he was in high school, user number 1. I remember reading earlier. So that's pretty nifty. I'm sure he was scared out of his mind, though, when the FBI came knocking. According to user number 1, the individual using subject username initially posted the government information as paragraphs of text. However, in and around January 2023, the subject username began posting photographs of documents on server 1 that contained what appeared to be classification markings on official U.S. government documents. According to user number 1, one of the documents was posted on a server by the individual using the subject name was a document that described the status of, here we go. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and also take this and just put this here for y'all. You could find it. Hey, your mom. Love to see you here. Hopefully, you don't have to say that a million times. I'm giving you your attention now. Alrighty. Okay. Where was I? Okay, username. The document that described the status of the Russian-Ukraine conflict, including troop movements on a particular date. Okay. The government document is based on sensitive U.S. intelligence gathered through classified sources and methods and contains national defense information. An original classification authority has confirmed that the government document is classified at the top secret clearance 1. I don't know, secret clearance 1 level as described. I would imagine that if he is like an airman basic or whatever he was, like airman, like a newly recruited airman, he would have literally just the basic security level, which I think is it called top secret? I think it's called top secret. Well, no, there's secret, top secret. But secret is like not really a secret. Yeah, I remember learning when I was briefly in the military, I learned secret things and I'm like, this is not a secret. This is Googleable. People know this stuff. I'm still technically not allowed to say it, but it was not very secret. I was very disappointed. I thought I was going to learn a bunch of secret stuff. Okay. As described above, the unauthorized disclosure of the top secret information reasonably could be expected to cause exceptionally grave damage to the national security of the United States. Okay, so it's talking about the conversations. I kind of want to know more about what was actually in it. Xeria said North Ditch, Massachusetts is a residence. Motor vehicles. E3 Airman First Class. Yeah. Okay. Sensitive compartmented access, SCI. Okay. I don't know how an axis translates to an I, but apparently it does. Huh. The government document posted to social media 1 was accessible to Xeria by virtue of his deployment with United States ANG. According to the U.S. government agency, which has access to logs, files, documents. Nice. And that's the conclusion. So there really wasn't a ton of information in there about specifically what that was. Oh, well, unfortunately. Yes, I was briefly at the Air Force Academy. Yeah, for like less than 2 years, slightly less than 2 years. Hello, Ginger Jimmy Jr. I saw your comments last night, but that's okay. All comments are welcome here. This is a free speech channel, even if you hate me. Alrighty then. Let's check out that Turtle Boy story that I saw this morning. It's so crazy. This is not the one. Yes. This is such a crazy story. And I know I should have logged in. I can't log in, but I'm logged in on my phone for TV. You can get a subscription, and I have a subscription, but it's on my phone. I demand you remove yourself from the case. What case? Okay. Okay. On the morning of January 29, 2020, Boston police officer John O'Keefe was found dead outside of the Cranston home. Boston police officer Brian Albert on 34 Fairview Road. So sad. O'Keefe's girlfriend Karen Reed was charged with manslaughter after reportedly backing over O'Keefe with her car after she got into a fight with him and dropped him off at Albert's house after a night of drinking. She was castigated widely as a cop-killing villain set to face decades in prison. But as it would turn out, at least a dozen people likely witnessed O'Keefe being violently beaten to death before hatching an elaborate plot to frame Reed for killing him. Oh my God. So she's just dating this police officer and then he winds up dead and then she's accused of backing over him with a... That's such a thing to, like, you would definitely know if you backed over someone with your car. Could you imagine being accused of such a horrendous thing and like having legitimately nothing to do with it? The cover-up was aided and abetted by members of the Massachusetts State's Police, Canton Police Department, and Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. Holy shite. Wow, this is a story of one woman alone facing down some of the most powerful, well-protected people in the state who sought to destroy her life and to exonerate. Oh my God. Look at how beautiful she is, too. Oh my gosh. This is actually really devastating. She's pretty. He seems like a really nice man. And they seem very happy together. Karen is an intelligent, successful accountant and college professor. Wow. With not even a hint of criminal record. She has been dating O'Keefe for several years and loved his niece and nephew, who he adopted, like family. Oh my God, these sound like great people. She owned a house in Mansfield that she rented out, but lived with O'Keefe and his niece and nephew at his home on Boyne Meadows Avenue in Canton. O'Keefe was well-liked 16-year veteran of the Boston Police Department. Could you imagine getting arrested? First of all, your boyfriend's dead. I'm sure that you live with. I'm sure she wants to just grieve that. And now this. I can't. Seriously. Oh my God. State Trooper Michael Proctor wrote the criminal complaint for her arrest, noting his 10 years of experience. Hold on, I just got a text. Okay. Someone just messaged me and they might come up for interesting comment too. Okay. State Trooper Michael Proctor wrote the criminal complaint for her arrest, noting his 10 years of experience on the MSPD detective unit in Norfolk County. So I'm assuming this is a state trooper that helped cover things up. State Trooper Michael Proctor, a Massachusetts State police officer, and have been a police officer since 2013. I am presently assigned SPDU at Norfolk County DA's office and have so since September 2019. During the time I have investigated, so a lot of suicide nerves, blah, 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 investigations. He's trained, highly trained. Okay. Based on the information contained in a number of paragraphs below, which are the product of my own investigation and the discussion of Massachusetts State's troops and officers with the Canton Police Department involved in the investigation, I submit I have probable cause for an arrest warrant to be issued for Karen Reed. I believe that the evidence of the crime of manslaughter, violation of Massachusetts General Code, blah, 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 yeah. Okay. So he blames Karen. Here are her charges. manslaughter, motor vehicle homicide. Oh my god. Oh my god. Is this him? Is this the asshat or is this the nice guy? Pretty sure that's the asshat. The charging documents state that Canton officers Sarah and Mulaney were dispatched 6:04 a.m. on Monday, January 29th, Fairfield, where they found 3 females, Karen Reed, Jennifer McCabe, I know someone with that name, and Carrie Roberts, next to the body of Keith. Red was performing CPR on January 29, 2022 at approximately 6:04 a.m. Canton Police Department received a 911 call from a woman reporting a male party, James O'Keefe, to be found in the snow at 34. At the time of the 911 call, there was heavy snow and the temperature was in the teens. Officers Sarah F. and Mulaney were dispatched to the scene along with Canton Fire and EMS. Officer Sarah F. arrived on scene and observed 3 females waving at him. Officer Saroff, that's his name. Looking at 34 Fairview from the roadway, the 3 females were in the left corner of the property. Officer Saroff observed the victim lying on the ground as 2 of the females were performing CPR. The 3 females on scene were identified by Canton as Karen Reed, Jennifer McCabe, and Carrie Roberts. Yeah. Okay, so we have a special guest who is going to be coming on. So let me just get this invite link over to them. How do I close you? Okay. I think I sent that properly. I think I'm doing it okay already. There we go. Officer victim Jennifer McCabe and Carrie Roberts. Officer Saroff observed the victim to be cold to the touch, not breathing, and returned to his cruiser to retrieve an AED. Well, I hear him here.
What's going on?
I'm reading this article that you wrote.
Pretty crazy, huh?
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm just driving into court right now, so what better way to kill some time?
So what are you driving into court for? Tell the audience.
I am going to a criminal complaint hearing for Andrew Johnson.
Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson. Is he someone with like some sort of a criminal record before? Who is he?
Yeah, so Andrew Johnson has a felony conviction for assault and battery on a household member in 2018 when he beat the shit out of Catherine Peter, allegedly. Of course, the felony conviction did not stop her from continuing to allow him to live in her house and have access to her drugs and her children. And in 2021, he was charged with assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, a knife, on a 16-year-old, or no, then I believe she was 14-year-old child back then, her own daughter. And then she told police she was going to get a restraining order on him, but that was just to make them think that she was a good mother, and she never did that. And then 3 months later, in February of 2022, police were called there once again and arrested him once again for beating the shit out of her in front of her 13-year-old child, who then went and told, actually was 12 back then, who then went and told his guidance counselor and social worker that he was scared to live there with Andrew Johnson. So anyway, I've never met this man prior to being assaulted by him. He is the boyfriend, not the husband of Catherine Peter. She's lied about that repeatedly, but she She has been charged with violation of a harassment prevention order against a friend of mine. So I've been attempting to cover the legal proceedings in that. And at a recent court date, I attempted to interview her after the hearing, but she brought Andrew Johnson with her, and he was clearly on some sort of drugs or something at the time. And he assaulted me on the steps of the courthouse as I attempted to get an exclusive interview with the defendant. And which wasn't smart, because you're not supposed to hit reporters when they ask questions. But he did it, and so now I showed the video to the Boston police. They immediately concurred that it was indeed an assault and battery, and they filed a criminal complaint. And how this works is it has to be heard in front of a magistrate first, who will decide if there's probable cause. The bar for that is not that high, so there's certainly almost definitely will be, and then they'll be officially charged after that. And so, I don't know, we had a court hearing last month, but he did not attend because the mail came back rejected at 47 Avery Street. So it was unclear if she was still living there. But, it's very clear since then. There's images of both of their vehicles outside of her apartment. So it looks like indeed they are still living. So if he's not here today, they will automatically default and he will be charged.
Oh, wow. So last time, though, they said that they weren't sure if they lived there. Do you know if he's going to have to face any repercussions for just bailing last time, even though he currently lived there?
No. This is Massachusetts. There's no repercussions for anything.
Right. And if he does show up this time, this is just this isn't the actual. Well, what hearing is this? What hearing would this be if he were to show up?
So this is the application for the criminal complaint. It will not be in front of a judge. It is not.
So it's not in front of the judge. It's just in front of the magistrate.
Because if a defendant doesn't end up getting charged, that to the public hearing will be an arraignment in front of a judge, and that will be public record.
Right.
So that's how our legal system works.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if he arrives today, one, and then two, if he does arrive, do you think he would arrive with an attorney?
I find that hard to believe. Although, his girlfriend is sitting on $60,000. So you'd think they'd be, and I don't think Kate's going to be able to play Perry Mason in this one. I don't think her legal expertise will be allowed because she's not, an attorney or a community college graduate even.
Yeah.
With the thesaurus. So I don't think she's going to be able to represent him. So yeah, I doubt he'll be there with an attorney, although they can certainly afford it with all the money they raised.
Do you think Kate will show up?
I doubt he'll show up at all.
You doubt he'll show up at all?
My prediction is I think both of them are no-shows today. That's my guess.
But then because then he's charged.
He's going to get charged anyway. If you were him, why would you show up? You're going to get charged anyway.
I fought the law.
You don't think so?
Now the law won. I think that it would be smart for him to show up. That being said, you're probably right that he won't, and also you know them better.
So many ratchets just don't show up for these things, get defaulted. What's his argument going to be? Not only do you have my video of it, you also have the court surveillance video, which has a much better angle of him physically pushing me down and trying to throw me down a flight of stairs for the crime of what? Expressing my First Amendment rights to journalism, free press. Yeah. That's what was attacked. I don't even care that much about him assaulting me as much as I do his assault on the First Amendment and democracy. Like this is arguably to me, this is like on a scale of 1 to 10 on January 6th is 8. This is like a 7. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like January 6th is a 10. This would be a 7.
Yeah, I mean, because no congressman got beat up. So no elected officials were actually assaulted on January 6th, whereas I, an actual award-winning journalist, was assaulted on January 6th. Because this happened on January 6th.
Oh, really? Like the anniversary?
Yeah, it did.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, so I mean, democracy always seems to get attacked on January 6th. So.
Well, that is true, but it is good that we have people still upholding the even though it gets attacked, they're still defenders of democracy. Which is why this lady is not going to go to prison. Well, hold on.
The one that Floyd covered last night.
Why this lady will eventually get out.
I was I'm looking at. I just have the chat up on my thing, so I can't see. Is it the
Oh,
picture of the woman?
Yeah, I have the woman being arrested for allegedly murdering her boyfriend, who he was set up to murder.
I'm gonna do a whole show. I'm gonna do a whole. First of all, I was up till 3 a.m. writing that freaking article, so I'm not running on much sleep. But when you're an award-winning journalist, sleep is a waste of time. But that poor woman. I say poor woman, but she's going to be a rich woman, a very, very rich woman. She is going to make so much money off of this horrible ordeal that she's being put through right now. She's going to get a Netflix deal, I'm sure. She's going to be on Dateline. She's going to never have to work again. She'll be able to be a speaker about the dangers of... Dude, this is fucked. This is the most fucked up story I've ever written. It is bigger than, the Genduso story. It's bigger than Troopergate. It's bigger than everything, man. Like, it involves the cover-up of a murder of a Boston police officer, likely at the hands of another Boston police officer and his family, and at least 11 people participating in a cover-up for over a year. And framing and going out of the way to frame a completely innocent woman.
That's the craziest part. That's the craziest part.
Yes. Like the way. I mean, think of that. Like so this was obviously not premeditated, right? I think we can all agree on that. They didn't decide that they're going to bring a cop over and murder. That's not what happens. 99% of what happens is a fight broke out between the 18-year-old Colin Albert and John O'Keefe, because they were next door neighbors, and little Albert was a shithead, particularly towards O'Keefe, and very aggressive towards him. They likely had words inside the house. You'll notice that in there, it said that O'Keefe ran up 3 flights of stairs. Did you see that part?
We're like halfway through the story, so we haven't gotten that far.
Okay. So you'll see at one point. At one point, they know he was in the house because his phone pinged, and it has him rising in elevation, 3rd floor, like exactly as many steps, which some suspect that means he was running away from them, and that he was attacked not only by that once he started getting attacked by young Albert there, that Brian Albert probably jumped in, and that Brian Albert's dog started turning him into Genduso.
No.
He's got 6 lacerations on his arm. How'd those get there? And the dog disappeared. Like, they just got rid of the family dog that was 6 years old and in good health. They just got rid of him immediately afterwards.
They didn't euthanize the dog, did they?
What was that?
They euthanized the dog, or it just disappeared?
Well, there's no trace of the dog. The defense attorney for Karen Reed has done some investigation on their own. They're the real detectives in all this, and discovered that it has likely been rehomed through some sort of animal shelter. So it's not like they released the dog into the woods. It appears to have been rehomed without any explanation. Like, who does that? It's because the dog is evidence, right? The dog was in on the murder.
Right.
That's what happened. Yeah. In a house at least 11 people witnessed it, at least, and all participated in the cover-up of, because, and has sat silently and watched as a completely innocent woman faces decades in prison over his murder. I mean, think about it. She's his longtime girlfriend. She didn't get to go to his funeral. You know what I mean? Like, the killers did.
Wow. Yeah, as soon as he was killed, she was arrested. She didn't get to enjoy, like, she didn't get to mourn at all. And she lived with this man. She considered his family her family. I mean,
and those children are not his niece. So he adopted his niece
that he adopted
after both of their parents died within 6 months of each other of cancer. And horrible. And so he's like, you know, a really nice guy, takes these kids in, and you know, they like her. She's basically the stepmom, and now they think that she killed their father, so they don't talk to her either.
no. Do you think that'll end soon, though?
You know, we'll see. I mean, they're young. I don't know. They're young. I don't know how old they are. They're pretty young. So I would assume like 12-ish. Yes. Yeah. I mean, this is very, and I don't know who they know, but this whole thing is easily the craziest story I've ever written. And it's why I do what I do. Like, this stupid, I mean, this is what I'm going to court today for this shit, right? And really, this is a distraction more than anything from my real job. But what these people are trying to do in stopping me is prevent me from writing stories like the one about Canton, a Boston police officer getting murdered by another Boston police officer in Canton. Like, that is what they are trying to do.
Sorry, how did you get into this story? Like, how did people send you this? Did an informant send? Like, how do you find this one?
Well, as you know, I don't reveal my sources.
Yeah.
But I have the sources. I have the best sources. And I have a, let's say, very direct line to some very important players in this story who have direct knowledge of everything. And I was able to, get that. There's a reason I have those court documents and no one else does. There's a reason I have a picture of Colin Albert posting on Visco with his knuckles all cut up, and no one else has pictures of that. I have pictures of the family that no one else has, of the trooper who was in charge of investigating this, Trooper Proctor, with Jennifer McCabe and the family of the Alberts. And and he never told anyone. The guy in charge of investigating this never told anyone that he's good friends with the people whose house this incident happened at and who participated in the cover-up of the murder. They were never suspects. They were never questioned like that. This was everything was a setup of Karen Reed, like to the last detail. I mean, think about that. They killed this man. They didn't plan on it, and then they spontaneously kill him. Now think of what it's like to be in that house when that happens. You have a dead body there, a cop, and you're like, now what? You have 11 witnesses. You need to make sure that all of them shut up. Think of the fear that was put into those people in order for them to stay silent about this over a year. And immediately they went into cover-up mode. They took no time off. They said, here's what we're going to do. And that means that immediately their first thought was, we can blame her. She was driving. She was drunk. If we leave him out there, it will be believable that she could have hit him and not realized it.
Is it possible that he was still alive when they left him out there and that he died of the cold?
I believe that was the immediate cause of death. Don't get me wrong, but pneumonia. But
no, so even though he was beat up pretty bad, he might have still survived if they didn't try to blame someone else.
We don't know that. We don't know that, so I can't definitely say that. But the lawyer did contend that Jennifer McCabe intentionally delayed meeting up with Karen Reed in order to ensure that the longer that John O'Keefe lay there, the more likely he would be to be dead. But that's the lawyer's opinion. There's lawyers contend things. They throw theories out, but that has not been proven. I don't know if we have an exact time of death for him, but she did Google how long does food take to process or something like that, and that is something that pathologists use to determine time of death. So, I'm thinking about this. You have a cop, you have murder police, right? You got a murder police cop there that knows everything about how a criminal investigation into a murder is going to go down and is able to, ahead of time, understand what will be asked, what needs to be done. And this all took place in less than an hour, the entire planning. And it worked. It worked. I mean, think of how elated they must have felt when this woman was charged. Think of that. And that they knew that they had this state trooper who was investigating it and would protect them at all costs. That is what happened. And out of this, I see at least 4 people getting arrested. I see it. They're all going to start flipping on each other, starting with Jennifer McCabe, because she's the weak link. And because they're all going to have to save themselves. And we're going to know who killed them. There will be 11 different accounts of what happened. I don't know who the first will be to tell what happened that night, but they will tell what happened, and then other people will start to talk as well. I see 2 murder charges coming out of this. That's my guess, and I see I see obstruction of justice charges on at least Jennifer McCabe. On Trooper Proctor he's definitely going to be fired. He has to be, and I would assume charged. I mean, this is corruption. I'm assuming the FBI is going to have to be involved at this point because the state police can't be trusted.
Could you imagine if they sent the exact same officers in there to do this investigation? Yeah, no.
It has to be the FBI. And so maybe congratulations, the FBI gets to do real police work for once. Good for them. I'm sure they're very excited. And these people will be charged with obstruction, and they're going to start turning on each other. The other one who I think will be charged, think of it. There was an ATF agent in there who has an office in the Canton Police Department who at 1:30 that morning went into work at the Canton Police Department, who was actively involved in the cover-up, and who my sources tell me was one of the people who moved the body outside. I mean, think about it. They have a dead body in their house, and they're like, now what?
Potentially a lot of body, too. That's what pisses me off the most, is because they were more scared about covering their own tracks, they could have potentially saved his life, but no. Okay, go ahead. And then carrying his body out.
This story gives me the chills like none other. I'm dead serious. I can't. When I read those documents, those court documents that the public has not seen yet until today, when I read those court documents, my jaw was on the floor, and it got worse and worse the more I read. It's almost 4,000 words, that story. Read every word of it. You will be blown away by what happened. But I'll tell you one thing. They fucked with the wrong woman. This is not the person to be trifled with. This woman is extremely intelligent. She's a professor. She has a master's degree. She is a very successful accountant, and she was she's single. She had no children, so when she had the ability to save up a lot of money over time. She owns property. She's probably got, I'd guess, over $1 million in savings. So she has you know what I mean? You have a lot of resources at your disposal here. She can afford the most aggressive representation possible. And she literally flew in defense attorneys from Los Angeles who are known for this sort of stuff. And they have been, very aggressive and do not only exonerating her, but think about that. The defense attorneys went out and solved this murder, didn't they?
Right. I mean, yeah, because the police weren't flipping going to do it. I don't even know. Do you know how they went about like solving this murder?
Who? Well, they finally they just never stopped trying. So basically, here's what I do know is that Canton sources within the Canton Police Department were the initial whistleblowers on this. So, which means that one of those 11 people in that house talked. Somebody had to talk eventually. And, rumors start getting spread. And members of the Canton Police Department anonymously spoke with her defense attorneys because they had a guilty conscience. I mean, how can you not? How can you sit there? I understand the desire to save yourself. I get that instinct, but I don't get how 11 people can sleep at night knowing that a completely innocent woman is going to lose her life over the actions of another person.
I just feel like you give too much credit to people and their ability to experience empathy. Like I would say the majority of people don't actively empathize. Yeah.
How can, but that's not even just empathy. That's just like, that would eat me up. It's like the Telltale Heart with Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
It's just like, how do you live with that? Like, that would eat me up every fucking minute of every day, knowing that. I mean, these people witnessed trauma too. Let's keep that in mind. The people who did not participate witnessed the most traumatic kind of event possible. Like, think about how loud it was in that house when that happened. And nobody broke it up. Like, that's the crazy part too. Like, not one of those people thought, like, let's calm down here a bit.
Well, you have to imagine if that's the case and there were officers there, don't you think somebody was threatening with a firearm?
Yeah. I mean, I think...
How else do you keep 11 people at bay?
I think a shit ton of information is going to come out about this in the coming days and especially in the coming weeks. The next court hearing is on May 3rd. I've been invited there by people directly involved in the case that want to meet with me and have lunch and talk about this. I'm not going to say too much besides that, but I will be there in Stoughton District Court on May 3rd for the next hearing, which will be explosive, I would imagine, and a motion to dismiss, I'm sure, will be filed with the court.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like I said, sometimes, like I remember when I got the Genduso story, and those court documents got sent to me probably by her ex-boyfriend who went to jail for 12 years and was pissed about it. I'm guessing.
For those of us who don't know, what's the Genduso story?
The drug dealing state trooper who ended up getting Jackson Pollock by yours truly. She was, I discovered in 2018, after being sent court documents from an anonymous source, that the state trooper who was kind of like, on billboards as like the, I am woman, hear me roar, and I'm a canine cop and all this stuff. Yeah, she was a drug dealer and money launderer who fucked the lieutenant colonel until she got on the force, in order to get them to kind of not look into her background as a drug dealing money launderer who testified in open federal court about her involvement in moving $350,000 in drug money. And so, yeah, I got sent that document one day. I wrote about it, and she was never a cop again. And now she spends all her time hanging out with degenerates on panels late night, killing it.
Yeah, I know that life. Well.
Yeah, but
Nina's an interesting character. How close are you to the courthouse?
It says I am. Let me see. It says I'm 4.8 miles away. So I'll just jump off now because I got to get there soon. So, but tune into the live show tonight around 9:30. It's going to be right after the Celtics game. So tune in. We're going to go over all of this shit. It's going to be wild. And stay tuned for more information as it comes along.
Yeah, I never have live streams on Tuesday nights because Tuesday nights are Turtle Boy nights.
Tuesday nights are I'll also be doing a live stream on my channel, Impromptu Live, immediately following court to let people know how that goes. So tune in.
Okay, very cool. So everybody go to Uncle Turtle Boy's YouTube channel, Turtle Boy. Very easy to find. All right, have a good one. I'll take you. Well, that was really cool. You know, we were reading a story from a journalist that I really like, and he came up and gave us a rundown on this story that we were reading. And the story that we were reading is long as hell. I thought we were halfway through it. We were probably like 1/10 of the way through it. Okay. But so we got a really good rundown of that story, but that's just unbelievable. What we just talked about. And then also Aiden heading to court in a couple of minutes. He is going to be there to be dealing with the Andrew Johnson stuff, like he mentioned. So that should be a very interesting update. Let's close this out on a story that I saw. So yesterday we were talking about Lori Lightfoot in Chicago and how Chicago is being taken over by teenagers. But we did not talk about Los Angeles, and there was a Los Angeles teen riot as well. So I think we should pull that up. Los Angeles. Present screen. Stop screen. Share screen. Yeah. So if you haven't seen this, wait till y'all see this. Keep the volume off. But it was crazy. They went into a gas station and they took all of, like, literally everything. Yeah, here it is. Check this out. Have you guys seen this? Look at what's happening here. And they literally steal everything. They say they cost over $1,000 in just property damage and several $1,000s in lost profit, or like lost items. Yeah. And you'll see at one point like that they stole all the condoms too, which is just like, look at this kid. Here it is. Just out of control. So that was pretty crazy. So with that story, I want to find that actual story though. No, where's the actual story? Well, okay, I'll just tell you the story. But essentially, the police just stood down. The police saw this riot was happening. People were calling for help. And the police were like, there are more of them than there are of us. And therefore, we're going to just retreat. Which is crazy. Which is crazy. Let's see if I type in teen riot. So they're talking about Chicago here when I type in teen riot. And then, yeah, more Chicago. People are talking about the teen riot. And they're calling it a mass protest. Illinois State Senator defends Chicago teens rioting, looting. It's a mass protest. Oh my God. It's a mostly peaceful protest, people. Calm down. An Illinois senator defended the Chicago teen takeover that unfolded Saturday, right, and left multiple boys shot, claiming it was simply a mass protest against poverty and segregation. Oh, of course. That's why they were stealing, obviously, because they were protesting being poor. Robert Peters, who represents part of Chicago, responded to the chaotic scene that saw hundreds of local youth smashing car windows, jumping on surrounding vehicles, and firing guns in the street. Rather than condemn the chaos that left tourists running in fear, Peter suggested that it was a mass protest. Since I'm a glutton for punishment, and I'm sure I'm going to get the most unhinged crime weirdo replies, but I would look at the behavior of the young people as a political act and statement, Peters wrote on a Twitter post Sunday. It's a mass protest against poverty and segregation. Rest in peace to my mentions. Oh my God, I hate this person. I genuinely hate this person. Hundreds of police officers were called to the scene, arresting 9 adults and 6 juveniles in connection. At least Chicago tried. Better than Los Angeles. Los Angeles literally saw the riot and we were like, yeah, no thank you. That's what the Los Angeles police did. So good on Chicago police. According to Fox 32, a man was taken to the hospital after being beaten by a group of teenagers. Oh my God, after they jumped on. Oh yeah, we already actually read that yesterday. Okay. WLS reported a 6-year-old boy being shot in the arm, and 2 teenage boys ages 16 and 17 were also shot in the crowd. Oh my God. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, it's time to wrap it up. We only got 3 minutes left. But I want to thank y'all for being here. I especially want to give a very, very special thank you to Turtle Boy for 2 reasons. One, for that awesome story that you wrote. Great story. Amazing. Also for just looking into stories. Like, I just feel like there's not a lot of journalism happening, and I appreciate you. And also for coming up, obviously. And then I'd like to thank Henry for all that he does. He's having a tough one today. And then I'd like to thank everyone for being here. Diane, President Trump, Lucifer, U-Haul, all of you fun people, name withheld, witchy bitchy denizen, all of you lovely folk. I really appreciate you guys being here. We're going to be doing this every morning, and we're going to be chit-chatting away. We did look into yesterday. We did the same thing. We asked people what they were interested in. They said they were interested in some of the things that we delved in a little bit further today, such as the documents that were late and whether or not we could find anything on them, which we couldn't. But we tried our best. So yeah. And hi, your mom. You still look pretty, but 30, not 20. Well, 29. So this would make sense. Got the wrinkles. It's happening. Do you ever do an open panel? Yeah, we're going to start doing more panels. We have done an open panel before, and it was actually really fun. So we'll start doing that on like the weekends. We're doing this morning show. We're going to start doing more legal shows too. We're going to pick a case in the future, and then we're going to follow it. So if you have any legal cases that are coming up that you guys think are interesting, let us know. Like, oh, this is starting to go to trial and we would like you to cover it. Please let me know and I'll do that. Maybe we'll do that with the Turtle Boy story. That would be amazing, because that will definitely be major news. And so I'd love to see that. Wrinkles. I know. Well, I'm trying to show my wrinkles. I have like a lot of wrinkles. Like, it's just, they're like laugh lines though. So I don't know. Maybe you're supposed to have them. People are like, oh my God, you're so wrinkly. But it's like, it's only wrinkly when I smile. So like, maybe I should just like frown more. Just like sit. Resting bitch face more. Maybe that's why resting bitch face is the way to go. Because then you don't get the wrinkles. Alrighty. Well, anyway, thanks y'all for being here. I'm going to end it. Bye. Let me find this thing.